Biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, as Reno 1868 FC. Picture perfect day here in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. Reno 1868 FC taking on Austin Bold FC at Greater Nevada Field. Alongside Colin Tabor, I'm Sean Steimel filling in for Alex Margulies. Excited to bring you Reno 1868 FC soccer. Big one today as both these teams coming off draws in week one. Austin scoreless with Las Vegas, Reno. Bit of a deflating 2-2 draw with Orange County. We've got some players to watch tonight. Dario Conca comes to mind for Austin for me.
Yeah, Dario Conca, the experienced playmaker. He'll be the one that initiates all the counterattacks. Expect for him to pop up between the lines, get the ball, and drive the ball forward.
Once the third highest paid player in the world behind Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Insane to think about. For this Reno side, a familiar face to USL fans, new to Reno 1868, Raul Mendiola, a guy I'm keeping an eye on tonight.
Yeah, Raul Mendiola, who was fantastic last year with the Las Vegas Lights. He'll be playing on the right side of Ian Russell's midfield. Look for him to pop up, put the ball onto his favorite left foot, and have some shots on goal.
Yeah, we'll look for him to make an impact today in his second match with Reno 1868 FC. As you can see, the gentlemen lining up for the national anthem. We will be right back. We'll get your lineups and get set for kickoff here on Nevada Sports Net. Don't go anywhere. Perfect timing as the national anthem here is getting finished up at Greater Nevada Field. Reno 1868 FC taking on Austin Bold, this expansion franchise. First year in the USL Championship, which is the newly minted name of this league that we play in. Should be a good one here today. As we said in the open, joined alongside Colin Tabor. I'm filling in for Alex Margulies. I'm Sean Steimel. As we get you set for kickoff here at Greater Nevada Field. And we take a look at today's starting lineups. We look at the Austin Bold FC lineup. A familiar name to USL fans, Diego Restrepo in goal. We've got Dario Conca up top with Kleber. And a solid back line with Akugo and Taylor. Sion McFarland. Who stands out to you?
Yeah, I think that partnership of Kleber and Conca up top is going to be something to watch out for Reno 1868, along with Chris Tierpak, who was fantastic with San Antonio back when he was in the league in 2017. Looks like Malice and Baez will anchor the midfield.
Yeah, a lot of familiar faces there, longtime veterans in the football world. Now we go to Reno 1868's starting lineup. couple changes from last week, including Matt Bersano in goal, along with Eric Calvillo and Gilbert Fuentes into the starting lineup. Pretty solid group there.
Yeah, great group for Ian Russell's side. A lot of attacking impetus in this team. We talked about Mendiola. Also look out for Brian Brown, along with the teenager Gilbert Fuentes, who's a very exciting prospect. Expect for him to play off of Brian Brown, kind of float in that space in behind him, along with Lindo Mafeka.
And, of course, that back line, Duke Lacroix, Thomas Janjigi, and Zach Carroll, and Brent Richards. Anytime you set those 4 guys up in front of a Bersano, things are going to go well for you defensively.
Yeah, and I think you should expect Duke Lacroix and Brent Richards to get up the field a lot, especially Duke Lacroix. He loves getting up the field. He loves joining the attack, taking people on. Such a dynamic and attacking left back.
It should be a good one here today, as I said, and as you can see, an absolutely gorgeous day here in Reno, Nevada. This is soccer weather. We are very excited to get this one underway. Austin Bold making their first trip to Reno, having just taken on Las Vegas the previous week in a pretty impressive scoreless draw. Austin had to defend for most of it, playing against the Las Vegas Lights. I believe they took 18 shots and kept it scoreless. Diego Restrepo being the main man there, 2017 USL Goalkeeper of the Year. It's a strong side from Austin, but also, as you can see, those Reno boys are ready to roll in week 2.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a similar setup from Austin Bold as they played last week against Las Vegas Lights. Expect for them to defend with a low block, 2 blocks of 4 in the midfield, and just try to counterattack, especially through the clever movement of Chris Tierpak, who's a player I've always really liked. Off the ball, he's one of the best around, and he's someone who can pop into dangerous positions, especially if one of the fullbacks is getting caught too high on for Reno.
Definitely a guy this Reno defense will have to keep an eye on. I'm sure Seth Kasipley will be busy today keeping an eye on this Austin attack. And from what I can tell, I think Reno is in for a similar type of game as they played last week against Orange County in the 2-2 draw. Orange County pretty much set up 11 guys in front of the ball and just, maintain their defensive shape. I think that's something we're going to see from this Austin side. Maintain the defensive shape, play off of that, maybe look for a couple of counterattacks. But I think Reno is in for another game where they enjoy possession, look to break down a defense, and just try and get that early goal.
Yeah, I think that's the way a lot of the teams approach it here at Greater Nevada Field. They know it's such a tough place to come against such a free-flowing attack of Reno 1868, along with playing in the elevation, which can sometimes be problematic. So a lot of teams, we've seen in third season here at Greater Nevada Field, a lot of teams will come setting up that way, try to have that low block, try to sit back, absorb pressure, and then counterattack through the wings.
Yeah, not an easy place to play over the past 2 seasons as we're underway. Austin Bold wearing the white, going left to right on your screen. Reno wearing the blues, going right to left. As newly bald, Zach Carroll heads that one away. Bald for a fantastic reason, supporting the St. Baldrick's Foundation. There's a close-up of him. Wearing the captain's armband today for this Reno side.
Yeah, a great cause and a great leader as well. Zach Carroll has stepped in seamlessly into this Reno back line. It's his 2nd season here. Looks like he's been here forever, though. Such a fantastic captain, a leader, and such a strong center back as well.
Bit of confusion here as you can see Raul Mendiola down on the pitch looking for a foul. Looks like it's going to be a throw-in.
Yeah, a bit interesting to see Gilbert Fuentes playing up top with Brian Brown. Normally it's been either one of him or Lindo Mafeka playing in that 10, that attacking mid role, but it looks like both of them will be playing today. I think there's going to be times where we see both of them next to each other rather than the 4-4-2 diamond that we typically see from Reno 1868. It might form sometimes like a kind of Christmas tree formation. They call it the 4-3-2-1, where both of them will be central underneath Brian Brown, looking to connect with the Jamaican target man.
Gilbert Fuentes in there for an injured Danny Mazovsky, an upper body injury. Interested to see how Fuentes pairs with Brian Brown. Brown, of course, adding to his club record goal tally last week, along with Lindo Mafeka scoring the 2 goals for Reno. Reno going up 2-0 in that match. And then a bit of a sloppy back pass from Seth Kasipley and a ill-timed challenge from JT Marcinkowski in stoppage time for a penalty kick ended up in a draw. I'm sure there's a bit of a sour taste with these Reno players, and I'm sure they're ready to get right back on the right track here today.
Yeah, a bit heartbreaking last week after it looked like Reno earned a well-earned 3 points against a strong Orange County team. Given away at the end. They'll be looking to bounce back from that. Try to get a strong start to the season, something that they've never had before, actually. First 2 seasons, we've seen Reno kind of stutter right out the gates before finding their form going into the summer. I know Ian Russell wants a strong start to the season. He thinks it will create a better springboard for the season as a whole.
Yeah, a bit of a small sample size, only being the 3rd year of Reno soccer here, but they have not started well 2 seasons. And although Greater Nevada Field is a very tough place to play for an opposing team, has not gone well early for this Reno side. Opportunity to change that here today.
Oh, and a great touch from Gilbert Fuentes.
And it just crossed the line. You see the attacking prowess of this Reno side. As soon as they get an opportunity, as soon as they get space, that ball's going forward, and it puts the defense on their heels. It's very tough to cover this team for 90 minutes.
Yeah, and where Reno excels is transitions into attack. So when they do win the ball higher up the field, like we saw with Eric Calvillo winning it around the half line, Gilbert Fuentes immediately sprung into action, was looking to get the ball through, and took a clever touch past Akugo there, but looks like it just went out of bounds.
Got Brent Richards sending a ball in that's going to sail over everyone out of play for a goal kick. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. As Restrepo getting set to send this ball back into play. Again, cannot get over how beautiful it is here today in Reno. After a pretty tough winter, it is a beautiful day. As this ball goes deep. That is number 15, Amobi Akugo. One of the many veterans on this Austin side. Akugo played with Portland Timbers, Philadelphia Union, and MLS. Northern California native from Sacramento.
So many guys with first division experience on this Austin Bold team, whether it's in MLS or elsewhere. A lot of guys have played in Brazilian Serie A, Argentinian top division, along with places like Russia as well. Marcelo Serrano has built a very experienced team, players from all around the world.
Marcelo Serrano, the head coach of Austin Bold FC in their inaugural season. Currently the head coach of the U.S. Virgin Islands national team, has plenty of assistant coaching experience, as well as the Virgin Islands. As this ball gets through, Zach Carroll chasing down. He gets to it to send it to Matt Bersano to clean it up. Good bit of speed there from Zach Carroll. Now it's with Seth Kasipli.
What a brilliant ball from Dario Conca, too. Perfectly weighted. I think a younger Kleber would have gotten on the end of it and put it away.
Yeah, you've
but
mentioned
a little
it.
bit too much in front of him.
Bit of an older side here for this Austin Bold FC team as Brian Brown sends this into the box. Just a little too high there for Gilbert Fuentes. And it is cleared all the way back. Thomas Janjigian. A lot of veteran experience for this inaugural side of Austin Bold FC. As you said, a lot of first team experience in top divisions. Calvillo sends this in. Mendiola's got space. Mendiola puts one on goal. It takes a hop. Diego Restrepo does very well not to give up a rebound. But you like to see the confidence from Raul Mendiola finding space in the middle of the pitch, wasting no time, turning and firing on goal.
Yeah, Mendiola does really well to pop into that space between the lines. Looks like there's a bit of miscommunication between the Austin back line. No one's quite sure who steps. Mendiola shot with his slightly weaker right foot. I say that because he still does score some great goals with his right foot, but he is favored with his left. not enough to beat Restrepo.
Yeah, Restrepo did well there to play that hop. Not an easy play there for the keeper, but had eyes on it the entire way. Restrepo, of course, longtime USL veteran, fantastic keeper.
And when you play in a 4-4-2 like Austin Bold's playing in, sometimes there is that miscommunication in between the lines. No one's quite sure who picks up that player between the defense and midfield. So I imagine Ian Russell is going to target that area, try to find players, whether it be Mafeka, Mendiola, or Gilbert Fuentes. Really a lot of options in that role to find those players between the lines.
Duke Lacroix checking on Sion McFarlane. He's tangled up, looked like he took a shot to the face. Lacroix giving him a check. Sion McFarlane, another one of these experienced defensive players this Austin Bold side presents. And also interesting to me, he spells his name the exact same way I do, except I'm Sean and he's Sion. Interesting. He's taking a bit of an extended break here. Into the 9th minute. Still scoreless. Good chance from Raul Mendiola just a moment ago. As McFarlane puts this back in play. McFarlane into the box. And it is blocked away.
Yeah, dangerous ball from McFarlane there. Brent Richards was on hand though to clear it, but a great cross. Bit of a tricky one for Bersano there to deal with.
Yeah, Austin just did not have that many guys in the box, but a fantastic cross there from McFarlane. And this one goes out of play for a corner kick as Janjigian dispossesses there. It will be Dario Conca take this corner kick with his left foot. Sends the in-swinger into the near post. It's deflected away. Brian Brown giving chase. Jermaine Taylor on the ball here. Now finds Akugo in the box. Akugo, 2 men on him, sends it in with his left foot, back post, and it clears everybody. Dangerous times there for the Reno defense.
Yeah, another dangerous cross from Austin Bold. Ball goes the opposite side from where the corner kick was taken. Reno can't deal with it, and Akugo puts a ball across the goal line, but no one is there to put it away. Bit interesting. You saw Reno set up on the defensive set piece. All 11 players in the box. Clearly concerned with the set piece prowess of Austin Bold.
Did well to clear that one away as it's now with Janjigian. Kasipli tries to play the long ball. He finds Brian Brown for the moment. Brown does well to get it back. And it is cleared away. Brown trying to find Gilbert Fuentes as Austin now on the counterattack. It's with Conca. He's got men to his left. Tries to send it in. Zach Carroll does a phenomenal job to snuff that one out and stop that counterattack. Back and forth play here at Greater Nevada Field. You see Javier Baez there, drop it off for McFarlane. Again, everywhere you look on this Austin Bold side, there is veteran experience. Not often you see that for a first-year team. Usually a lot of younger guys, maybe a couple veterans sprinkled in here and there, but this Austin side is built with a bit of age when you compare them to other USL Championship sides. But nonetheless, on paper, looks like a solid team. As it's with Mafeka, Reno charging down the field. Mafeka's pass deflected away. Now it is with Chris Tierpak.
Great defending by Callum Malice there, stopping Reno in transition when Reno were numbers up in that play. Callum Malice got the crucial intervention there from Little Mafeka's ball.
Now it's with Gilbert Fuentes. Now Kasipli blocks it away. Now back with Kasipli. He looks out wide for an open Duke Lacroix. He's got a bit of space, sends it inside. And it looked like Fuentes was clipped there. Referee standing right in front of him, no call. As Now it's out with Brian Brown. He sends it into the middle. Brown out on this left wing, Eric Calvillo. Calvillo will switch the field, playing back to Zach Carroll. And it's out to Brent Richards. This is where Reno is so dangerous. Richards attacking up the right side, inside the box, slides it in with his left foot, deflected away for the moment. Mafeka giving chase. Now it's with Lacroix. Lacroix on his left foot. Finds Brian Brown. Now back to Mafeka. Kasipli's got space. Kasipli will strike. It's blocked away there. Now with Calvillo. Bit of a shimmy. Calvillo slides it in. Mafeka with the left foot, and Mafeka sends it over. But solid offensive play there from Reno. Good distribution. Mafeka just couldn't get his foot around it with his left foot. Nonetheless, good opportunity there from the 1868 FC.
And you look at the shape of Austin Bold, so deep and narrow, just defending with so many numbers around the box. Defending narrow, leaving the wide areas open, knowing that Reno will try to funnel their attacks through the middle with the amount of offensive midfielders they have in the lineup. I'd like to see Duke Lacroix kind of stretching the field more, looking to provide an outlet out wide, especially on the overlap, trying to penetrate this Austin back line.
That ball is played into the box, and it is a goal for Kleber. Dario Conca did very well on the counterattack there to hold up play, slid it inside to Kleber, and Kleber did very well to beat Matt Bersano in this Reno defense. 1-0, Austin Bold.
Yeah, and a great counterattack. Kleber holds the ball up really well against Janjigian, gets him on the half turn and just fires it past Matt Bersano's far post to make it 1-0 for Austin Bold early on.
Zach Carroll in front of that shot. It looked like he turned away from the shot. He had the back post covered. Kleber finding the one spot Bersano wasn't, and just pounced on it and put it right in the back of the net. 1-0, Austin Bold. Not ideal if you're Reno.
No, not ideal for Reno, especially as they were starting to grow in the game after a nervy few minutes, but just got exposed on the counterattack and on a restart as well with the goal kick.
Now it's back with Brian Brown attacking up the right side as he sends it in. And it is dealt with by the Austin back line. Now with Lacroix. Lacroix doing well to make a play on that. And this will roll all the way back to Diego Restrepo. That is the first goal in Austin Bold FC history. Scored by Kleber. And a good one at that, as Austin takes a early 1-0 lead here in Reno.
I can't imagine it's Kleber's last of the season either. Such an experienced striker, such a great addition to this Austin Bold team. A fantastic finish.
Yeah, at the very least on paper, this Austin Bold side seems like it's going to be competitive in the Western Conference here in USL Championship play. And although last week didn't go quite well, this is a fantastic start for this Austin side. And as you said, with the attacking prowess that they have and the defensive presence that they have with all those veterans back there, it has the makings of a really good side.
Yeah, and getting a draw away to Las Vegas, a resurgent Las Vegas Lights team under Eric Ronaldo, is a pretty difficult thing to do.
Austin right back at it in Reno's end. Raul Mendiola defending there. Ball gets played to the middle. Farland sending it in for Tierpak. Tierpak got a head on it. Looked like Brent Richards was there as well. And it looks like it's going to be called a corner kick. Bersano not liking the call there. Bit a shaky play here from Reno defensively.
Yeah, but from a lovely ball from McFarland, just that deep cross curled right into Kleber's path. Difficult for the Reno backline to deal with, and now another set piece for Austin Bold, and we see again all 11 players in the Reno box.
It's a very clear sign of respect for this Austin side set pieces. Conco with his left foot. He sends it in, gets to the near post. Brian Brown giving chase, see if Reno can counter here. Brown at the right side, has Fuentes in front of him. Now checks back. He will find Janjigian with some space.
Yeah, right move from Brian Brown, not to force the play, let Reno push their lines up a little bit, let Austin retreat, and then just try to build it up from there. Just trying to show a little patience. I don't think they're gonna try to outpace Austin Bold a lot, especially with Brian Brown and Gilbert Fuentes up top. Not the two paciest players in the world. I think the right move for Reno is to try to have a more patient build-up, look for gaps in that Austin low block, try to find space between the lines for the likes of Mendiola and Mafeka.
Community, expertise, and the medicine of movements. That's what Reno Orthopedic Clinic is all about, and it's why ROC is proud to be the official jersey sponsor of your Reno 1868 FC. And they are some beautiful, beautiful blue jerseys. In a league filled with great jerseys, I think Reno is right at the top. These blue jerseys are fantastic. As Tierpak dispossesses there.
Yeah, if you look at USL jerseys compared to MLS, I think USL definitely has the advantage. Just such unique jerseys across the league.
And that's usually what you'd find, you know, especially being in the Reno Aces ballpark. Usually minor league baseball teams have a bit cooler jerseys. They'll have promotional nights where, you know, they'll do theme nights. You see some fantastic jerseys there as well. But yeah, you're right. You look around USL Championship, there are some fantastic jerseys. As you can see there on the screen, Zach Carroll wanting to pick up the pace a little bit on that ball from Janjigian. I don't think he's very pleased. The 1-0 deficit as Reno gives it away sloppily. And Tierpak in the middle of the field. Mafeka does well there. Now it's with Calvillo. He sends it back to Janjigian. Out with Lacroix. And you mentioned earlier, this Reno side is at its best when guys like Brent Richards and Duke Lacroix are getting forward, sending balls in, having the ability to switch sides of the field. So it's a good sign when you see Brent Richards getting forward, when you see Duke Lacroix getting forward, because it means Reno's on the front foot. As this one gets played into Brian Brown. Brian Brown's first touch is fantastic. He gets a shot off. It looked like it was deflected, but it will be called a goal kick. Brian Brown's first touch, fantastic there. Just couldn't finish it with a beautiful ball in from Raul Mendiola.
Yeah, and how about the ball from Mendiola? Perfectly curled into Brian Brown's path. Gets the space from Brent Richards overlapping him, allowing Mendiola to cut onto his left foot and have the space to whip that ball in. Brian Brown's touch brings it right into stride, but his shot leaves a lot to be desired. Puts it over the goal there, but a great opportunity for Reno, and that's what they're looking for. Overlapping fullbacks, getting the ball to the likes of Mendiola, who can put in a great delivery for Brian Brown.
Right on the spot, as we were just talking about Richards and Lacroix. Richards makes a run, opens up space for Mendiola to get that ball in. That's when Reno's at its best. It's when these fullbacks are getting forward, putting pressure on defense, and allowing for a little bit more open space for the other players to take advantage of. Brian Brown struggled with his first touch last week. Not really known as quite the technical player, usually more of a physical presence and a goal scorer, but showing off his technical ability with that first touch. Like you said, a little bit to be desired with that touch at the end, but nonetheless, strong play from Brian Brown.
Yeah, and I think Brian Brown can be a little deceiving in that regard. I think a lot of people view him as just a typical target man, but if he faces up against a defender, he's so good at just that little bit of dribble to beat somebody. He can take people on. He can hold up the ball really well, not just using his size, but his ability on the ball as well. But yeah, his finish right there had a little bit of room for improvement.
Simply plays this all the way back to Bersano. Mendiola clips it forward. Now with Calamalis into Javier Baez. And this one gets played out of play. Fans, follow Reno 1868 FC and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at espnplus.com. As this is with Fuentes making a run on Akugo. Brian Brown to his right. Now with Mafeka. You see Lacroix getting forward, played all the way out to him. Got Calvillo with him. Brian Brown making a run into the box. Calvillo cutting towards the middle. Look to play Raul Mendiola. Bit of a tough ball there. You see the idea. You'd like a bit more simple play there. Maybe play it back, then forward up the right side. But nonetheless, good sign that they're looking to get forward.
Yeah, and I think Mendiola thought Brent Richards was overlapping him right there. I think he realized later on that Richards wasn't making that run, gave a little thumbs up for the misunderstanding. But we're seeing Richards and Lacroix get up more.
This one played out to Lacroix again. Lacroix been active so far. 23 minutes being played. Austin up 1-0 thanks to the goal from Kleber, the first in Austin Bold FC history. Richard slides this back to Kasipli, now with Lacroix. This is played in. It is dealt with by Okugo.
This Austin Bold back line and midfield is so organized. Just looking, they're funneling Reno into those central areas where they have numbers, not committing to the ball, letting Reno keep the ball in the right areas, and when the cross comes in, they're ready to deal with it.
Yeah, that seems to be the game plan so far for Austin, especially with the early goal. Makes it easier for them to execute that, just play strong defensively. You see a meeting of the minds as Dario Conca, captain of Austin Bold, now back to his feet. Looks like a bit of a water break here from both sides. You see Kasipli and Lacroix there. Again, bit of a disappointing start to the season for this Reno side, being up 2-0, looking like the better side for most of the match against a really strong Orange County team who finished the year last year in first place. As we have a substitution, looks like Conca took quite a knock there, and he's coming off. Sonny Guadarrama will come onto the pitch. Interesting move there. Bit of a loss, losing your captain and really star player Dario Conca in the first half hour. Didn't look like anything too serious, but nonetheless, Conca makes way for Sonny Guadarrama.
Yeah, a bit of a blow for Serrano, losing his key player, losing his captain early on in this game. Guadarrama, another experienced player in Liga MX.
And Brent Richards taken down outside the box on the right wing, earning a valuable free kick. As today's head referee, Farhad Dadko, making the call. His ARs, Ileana Kwan and Andrew Hanks. Fourth official, Nicholas Marin. As it looks like Lindo Mafeka's left foot will swing this ball into the box. All the big bodies for Reno in there against the big bodies of this Austin defense. Diego Restrepo barking out orders to his defensive back line. It's Kasipli, no, it's Mafeka spinning it in there. Restrepo does well to block it away for the moment. And it's Eric Calvillo with the blast, and it sails just over the crossbar. Diego Restrepo, full stretch. A fantastic shot from Calvillo, just a couple yards too high.
Yeah, Calvillo does really well, takes the ball down, gets Austin Bold to commit, but sends his shot just over. Great strike from Eric Calvillo there.
Not too dissimilar from the strike that Sam Gleedle had in week 1 for this Reno side, barely missing the target. Calvillo had that one lined up, a beautiful body fake. Sent that in with his right foot. Restrepo full stretch and just barely missing the target. An excellent effort there from Calvillo as Reno back with the ball. Sends it all the way back to Janjigian. Mafeka trying to find Brian Brown. Austin seeing if they can break. And they will. Lacroix does well to get back, temporarily stopping that attack. FC picks up a bit of a knock, and it will be Reno ball. Excellent defensive job from Duke Lacroix there.
Yeah, and it looks like Austin got a couple lucky breaks and were able to counter after a couple of 50-50 challenges, but Duke Lacroix gets back really well, gets that tackle in and earns the foul. It's a nervy moment for Reno.
Lacroix looks to be okay, giving the thumbs up there as Kasipli restarts play. He's out with Zach Carroll. Richards plays all the way down the line trying to find Brian Brown. It's deflected out of play. Richards will take this throw in. Played in towards Zach Carroll. Callum Malice does well to block that away. Richards with the left foot sends it in, and Diego Restrepo will let that go out of play. For injured bones, joints, and muscles, skip the ER and head for the ROC Express, the orthopedic urgent care that's faster and more affordable. Details at renoortho.com. As you get a good look at the 2017 USL Goalkeeper of the Year, Diego Restrepo with San Antonio FC, along with Chris Tierpak on those vaunted San Antonio teams. Now back with Matt Bersano. Really is an embarrassment of riches for this Reno side in terms of goalkeeping to have a guy like JT Marcinkowski sitting on the bench when Matt Bersano starts. This one played all the way back to Restrepo. Just fantastic goalkeeping play. You can count on it with those two guys.
Yeah, San Jose Earthquakes certainly have an abundance of goalkeepers this year. The addition of Vega allows Reno to really pick and choose who they want between two outstanding keepers in JT Marcinkowski and Matt Bersano. And nice problem to have for Ian Russell.
As Bersano makes the play there. Just about a half hour gone here. Austin Bold up 1-0. Early goal from Kliber. How would you assess the first half hour for this Reno side?
I think they're showing better patience. I think they realize they're not going to really be able to just break through back behind this Austin back line because they're so quick to transition defensively to drop their lines back when they do lose the ball. So showing better patience. I think this is a very tough team to break down. I think they're going to have to try to find space between the lines or have shots from distance like we saw with Mendiola and Eric Calvillo. Team's so used to.
That's what Sion McFarland gets into the box. Bit of a weak left-footed shot. It looked like he was going for the cross, cut it back, sent it in with his left foot, and Bersano makes the easy save. But nonetheless, good passing to set that up and get McFarland up that right-hand side. This Austin side is going to be dangerous.
Yeah, McFarland's done really well on the right-hand side, playing as a right back for Austin Bold, getting up the field, putting in deliveries, having a shot there. But yeah, as I was saying, Reno 1868, so used to trying to get in behind back lines. Love to finish after quick transitions to go through on goal. They're going to have to try and mix things up a little bit, break down a very stubborn defense.
See some of the strength from Brian Brown as he plays it out to Duke Lacroix, who sends it into Mafeka's first touch a little bit too big, and a bit of a challenge there. Looked a bit clean as it's with Kasipli. Kasipli sends it out wide to Mendiola. Mendiola cuts it back to his left foot, sends it in with his left, and it's going to be wide right of Restrepo's goal. We talked about it earlier, the strength and the technical ability of Brian Brown fending off 3 or 4 defenders there and then send it out to Duke Lacroix. Most forward, it's going to get knocked off the ball, or maybe that second defender comes over and just dispossesses. Not with Brian Brown. He has the strength to fend guys off.
Yeah, Brian Brown always does such a good job absorbing pressure, holding the ball, allowing Reno to make their runs, get forward, making space for others as he draws more and more people onto him. You see from Mendiola there, receiving the ball out wide, bringing it onto his left foot. I think that's something he needs to look to do a little more, especially because Austin Bull's trying so hard to just funnel them in central areas. Take away the wide option when the ball goes wide. Don't let them get the ball down to the byline. So Mendiola's just going to have to try to dribble across that Austin back line and have a shot. Scuffs his a little bit, but a good opportunity.
Yeah, I've been impressed with this Austin Bold strategy coming into this game, but Reno has found pockets of space, mostly in the middle of the field. Mafeka, Kisipli, Calvillo got a shot off earlier. There is space to be had for this Reno side. Now it's just a factor of getting guys forward, finding those pockets of space, and getting shots on goal. They've come close. Restrepo, a fantastic keeper, hasn't really been challenged to this point.
Yeah, a couple shots that look threatening, but off target. They're going to have to threaten Diego Restrepo. They're going to have to try to find the target with some of these efforts.
And if we know anything about Reno 1868 FC, especially with Ian Russell at the helm, they will attack for 90 minutes. They're not going to let up. They won't sit back and just play defense. They're going to look to get forward and get shots on goal, as this one's with Tierpak, and he sends it in with an easy cross for Bersano to pick up. But Tierpak finding a lot of space on that left side.
Yeah, Tierpak does really well to find that space. Looks to play the first time ball in. Not a good delivery, though, from Chris Tierpak. Easily handled by Matt Bersano. Someone who's been a little quiet today. Haven't seen a lot of him, but he's been doing the defensive work, helping out Daviardi on that side, and then just looking to counter when Austin does pick up the ball.
Lacroix to Kisipli. Kisipli back to Lacroix. Back to Kisipli. And Kisipli with a bad giveaway there. Tierpak read that well. Now Austin looking to break. Kisipli does well to win the ball back. And then bumped off. And it looks like Farhad Dadko might be reaching for his pocket here. He does have that yellow card out.
Yeah, heavy challenge there from Kleber. Just goes over the top of Kisipli. Kisipli has a bit of a challenging ball to deal with. Mendiola kind of has to pop it up because of the Austin press.
And Kleber does go in the book in the 35th minute. Strong challenge. As Zach Carroll standing over this free kick.
Yeah, I don't think there's any malice from Kleber's challenge. It's just the ball's in the air. Bit of an awkward one. Mistimes it just slightly. The ball in the air, it always looks worse than it is. I think referee's right to give the yellow card.
Yeah, I think that was one of those ones that looked worse than what it was. Is ball back in play. Austin Bold attacking up this right side. Now sends it back to McFarland. He slides it across to Jermaine Taylor. Longtime Jamaican national team member, as well as his lengthy MLS experience. As Reno starts the break, it's into Brian Brown. First touch gets around McFarland. McFarland does quite well to get back on his feet and slide in and take that ball away from Brown, or else Brown had wide open space in front of him.
Yeah, McFarland does really well against his Jamaican counterpart here, Brian Brown. Looked like Brian Brown was going to get the better of him after a bit of a sloppy first touch, but McFarland recovered well.
Lacroix showing a bit of the dance moves, then gets dispossessed. Slides it down to Guadarrama, who again came in for Dario Conca. Conca picking up a knock, having to exit the game. Mendiola tries to play this out to Richards, and it will be Austin throw-in. It is into Callum Malice, the Scotsman. As we are celebrating St. Patrick's Day this weekend.
Oh, I think an Irishman would be upset with your statement right there, but
you could throw a little Scottish accent in there. Austin wearing the white and green jerseys. Lacroix plays that in. Restrepo makes an easy play. And it looks like Daviardi might have taken a bad step there. Looks like he's going to that Achilles. Never a good area to have a player reach for. See a very simple cross in. Yeah, it just looked like Deviardi took a bad step and slid right to the ground. Whether it's a knee or an Achilles injury.
Yeah, and
Dodko calling for the trainer here. See if we can get a better look at it. Yeah, it looked like he just took a bit of a shove from Brian Brown. Didn't look anything malicious, and just went straight to the ground. This does not look good for Deviardi.
No, definitely does not look good. Those injuries that happen off the ball, always worrying. You know it's serious when that happens. Looks like he's able to get up.
He's got his cleat off though, putting no weight on it. I'd imagine there's going to be a second substitution here in the first half for this Austin Bold side. Not something Marcelo Serrano, I'm sure, planned on having to do.
And never good when you have to make 2 subs in the first half. Always tricky for a coach to deal with. Deviardi looks like he's being assessed right now. But I imagine he's not coming back in.
Does not look good. Austin playing down a man as we speak. As this gets back to Lacroix. Lacroix heads it back down to Matt Bersano. See if Reno can put something together here to end the half. It's a long ball from Kasipli, trying to find Mendiola, and he does. Mendiola sends a right-footed cross in. Brian Brown does well to get around his defender, maybe too well, as he is called for the foul on Sion McFarland, but an excellent job by Mendiola to track down that ball and send in a dangerous cross. Brown just a little too physical for his own good there.
Yeah, and Reno right away looks into that gap where Deviardi was originally at. Austin for a moment playing with 10 men. Mendiola finds the space out there, puts the ball in for Brian Brown. Brian Brown a little bit too physical trying to win it. Looks like Deviardi is coming back on the field.
As we have a foul in the middle. Brian Brown down, as well as Valeri Saramutin. Both players look to be shaken up. If I'm in a physical contest with anyone, or if I have to bang into anybody, Brian Brown is probably the last person on this pitch that I would want to see coming at me.
Probably not, and I think just a bit of an awkward 50-50 challenge between the two of them here.
Yeah,
looks like need a collision.
Yeah, it definitely looks like need. Saramutin try to wrap around Brian Brown. Brown going full force into that loose ball. Nonetheless, both players are up. And Seth Kasipli stands over this one into the 40th minute here, first half. Kasipli plays this in and is played away. Jermaine Taylor there in the air. Now Mendiola out on the wing. Austin looking to counterattack here, coming all the way from the back line. Deviardi looking healthy enough there, running through the entire Reno side.
Yeah, it looks like he was able to shake that off. A great run from Deviardi.
Back with Mendiola. Plays it to Fuentes. Fuentes has space in front of him. He's got Brown in the box. Looks to play him. It's deflected away. Out to Calvillo. Calvillo's dispossessed by Tierpak there. Now back out to Tierpak. Tierpak will send it away. Parents, sign your kids up for Truckey's Kids Club presented by Shields. Go to Reno1868fc.com/Kids Club today to sign your kids up for a season of fun. As you see Brent Richards in front of Ian Russell there, sending the ball in to Brian Brown. Brown does well to get it to Mafeka. Mafeka sends it in. Dangerous in the box. Akugo does well for the moment. And it is played back to Restrepo, and Restrepo clears it away all the way back to Zach Carroll. Again, the physical presence of Brian Brown. Just hold up play, get that ball, play off to the next guy, and get in the box, be dangerous. He's always such a potent striker, but when he's laying the ball off to guys, it opens up so many possibilities for this Reno side.
Yeah, and he certainly has his hands full with this Austin back line with them sitting so deep and narrow. He is the one who is having to absorb a lot of the pressure to lay it off for the runners behind him like Mendiola and Mafeka. Doing a good job at it so far, though.
Austin doing a fantastic job defensively of just getting to every ball in the air and maintaining their shape. As another physical knock, looked like Javier Baez got a clip to Seth Kasipli there. Kasipli still down. He's been on the ground a couple of times, and yeah, just a bit of a knock there right above the ankle. Not a fantastic spot to get hit. As Austin looks to pull forward, Zach Carroll again, just that calm defensive presence, winning balls back for this Reno side. I'm back with Calvillo. Calvillo out to Lacroix. Lacroix looking forward, has Brown in the box, has Fuentes in the box, plays it into Calvillo. Calvillo looking to play through. Fuentes gets on it, tries to play Mendiola, and Mendiola about 5 feet offsides there.
A good half mile there for Mendiola. Knew he was offside.
It looked like Calvillo was trying to play that ball all the way through, and Fuentes just got a foot to it. Not sure that ball would have gotten all the way through, but nonetheless, you like the idea there from Eric Calvillo.
Yeah, what I would like to see from Calvillo, though, when Mendiola makes that diagonal run, look out wide to Brent Richards, who's making that run in acres of space. Mendiola's run draws Austin out of position to allow Brent Richards to look, but I think Calvillo a couple times now, I think earlier in the half, the same thing happened, just caught forcing the through ball when it wasn't on.
Marcelo Serrano on the Austin Bold sideline, furious. Farhad Dodko right now. As it looks like that's Kleber down on the ground. Zach Carroll nearby. The Austin sideline begging for a yellow card here. Kleber still on the ground. Austin's training staff very busy so far. Konka going out with an injury, Daviardi having to get attended to before coming back onto the pitch, and now Kleber getting looked at. Busy Saturday for the training staff.
Yeah, busy half for this Austin Bold team. Players going down left and right. Serrano is not happy.
Serrano pleading with Farhad Dodko that there was an elbow to the face. Not sure who. I would assume Zach Carroll since he's close. Dodko telling Serrano no more. You see the replay here off a Restrepo goal kick. See if we can get an eye on it. Yeah, it didn't look like anything malicious. Carroll got his arm up. You're taught to keep your arms at your side, but it didn't look like he extended that elbow or anything like that. Didn't really even look like he knew Kleber was going to be there. Nonetheless, Kleber gets the brunt of an elbow. Not a healthy feeling as we are into stoppage time in this first half. Austin Bold up 1-0. See if Reno can put something together in these closing moments. It's with Kasipli in the middle of the pitch. Out to Janjigian. Calvillo to Janjigian. To Kasipli. Has guys forward. Kasipli looking in to Fuentes. Fuentes plays back to Carroll. All the way out to Mendiola. Mendiola doing well to escape the pressure there. Sends it out wide to Lacroix. Will be a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time as we're a minute into this. As it gets played back to Bersano. Pressured there from Tierpak. Now with Kasipli. Kasipli looks to play deep. No one really making the run. Not a fantastic ball there from Kasipli. Like to see a little bit more possession, maybe build something out of the back there. Nonetheless, Restrepo with a goal kick. Brent Richards gets ahead of that. Sends it to McFarland. McFarland heads it back into the Reno end. Janjigian and Richards do well to take that one away. Just a couple more minutes here in this first half. There's Mendiola on the ball here. Plays in for Brown. Brown first touch out to Lacroix. Back to Mafeka, who had a fantastic goal first week against the strong Orange County side. Took a bit of a knock early in that game. Nonetheless, scored a crucial goal along with Brian Brown as this one gets played into Brown. McFarland again doing a fantastic job just man-marking Brian Brown, getting to every ball in the air. McFarland has been fantastic in this first half.
Yeah, McFarland up and down the field really has been excellent. A lot of last-ditch clearances, winning the ball against Brian Brown, and his deliveries into the box going forward have been great as well. But yeah, going back to Lindo Mafeka, a lot of times we're seeing him almost sit next to Seth Kasipli, trying to just get the ball in places where he's comfortable. I want to see him get between the lines a little more, try to get further forward. Dangerous tackle there, though.
Yeah, not a good-looking tackle there from Jermaine Taylor. Dodko right there to see the whole thing. Doesn't look like a card's going to come out, but very interesting challenge. Ian Russell not pleased with the lack of yellow, and here it is. Dodko does have the yellow out, and it looks like Jermaine Taylor will go in the book in stoppage time of the first half. As we are in the last minute of stoppage time. So we see the tackle here again. Just a late challenge.
Yeah, just a very reckless challenge against a kid really half his own age. But reckless challenge from Taylor. Goes through Gilbert Fuentes there to try to get the ball. Deserved yellow, I think.
Yeah, not sure what the hesitation was for the yellow card. I thought that was automatically going to be one. Nonetheless, Taylor goes in the book. Janjigian plays back to Bersano. Arad Dodko takes a look at his watch. We have surpassed 4 minutes of stoppage time. Carroll plays back to Bersano. Now with Janjigian. One last opportunity here as Carroll plays into Lacroix on the left wing. Lacroix's got guys in the box, cuts it inside, looking in for Mafeka. Mafeka now to Brent Richards, plays out to Mendiola. Mendiola trying to find space. Slides it into Mafeka. Mafeka has time, sends it in across, and it will sail all the way through. But it took a deflection, and it will be a Reno 1868 corner kick.
And that's what you want to see from Reno, working the ball to the left side, working it around to the right, making Austin shift, looking for those gaps, and then they find Lindo Mafeka, delivers a great ball to Brian Brown, just slightly too high.
It will be Seth Kasipli to take this corner kick, which will likely be the last action of this first half, as Mendiola goes down in the box. Bit of physical play. Mendiola, usually a very chippy player. As Kasipli whips this in, is deflected away by Chris Tierpak, and that will be the halftime whistle as Austin Bold FC scores their first goal in franchise history thanks to Kleber, and they will take a 1-0 lead going into halftime against Reno 1868 FC, as Julian Del Gaudio will try and get a hold of Ian Russell for the halftime interview and talk about what he saw from his side and from this brand new Austin Bold side. And it looks like Julian has wrangled Ian Russell, so we go down to the pitch with Julian Del Gaudio, who has Ian Russell.
Thanks, guys. Coach, down one. What's your team message?
We got no urgency from us right now. We got to pick up the tempo. They're sitting back. They're sitting way back, but they're dangerous on the counterattack. So as we're attacking, we need to be aware of that, but otherwise just switching the ball quicker and trying to get service in the box.
You earned that first corner kick in the final 4 minutes of stoppage time right there. How important was that to kind of gain momentum into the second half?
Yeah, I mean, we should be better than that. Should be one corner kick at the end of the half, but we just got to be better.
Coach, best of luck. Thanks. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Julian. And Ian Russell kind of saying what we were talking about earlier. This was going to be a similar match to what they saw last week with Orange County, a team that's confident just sitting back, playing defense, looking to get on the counterattack. The last thing you want to do for a team like that is give them an early goal. That's what Reno is facing. But as Ian Russell said, just got to keep working, keep going at it.
Yeah, I think just that lack of urgency, trying to switch the ball a little quicker. We saw that towards the end with that chance, the cross from Mfeka, but not enough, just kind of happy just to knock it side to side without really looking to penetrate.
Austin Bold up 1-0 on Reno 1868 FC. We will take a short break, come back, bring you highlights from the first half, get you ready for second half. Don't go anywhere.
What does it take to be a champion? Skill, strength, vision, an unrelenting desire to prove your worth week in, week out. An army of fans behind you screaming your name. And sometimes just a bit of luck. For 631 games over the course of the next 9 months, 22 players will step on the field to answer the question, why will it be you and not them? And the 36 teams, from the champions of yesterday to the challengers of tomorrow, only one will be right.
To soccer fans across the United States, we want to say thank you for helping to create the most impressive, well-attended USL opening weekend in our history. With your support, we welcomed record crowds of over 91,000 fans to USL stadiums last weekend, and with over 3 million expected by the end of this season. This is a special moment, and if you're new to the USL, you're joining us at the most exciting time in league history. With more clubs and more games than ever before, the USL Championship is establishing itself as one of the premier second divisions in professional soccer around the world. In 2019 alone, we've welcomed to the USL family 7 new expansion teams, in New Mexico, El Paso, Austin, Memphis, Birmingham, Hartford, and Loudoun. That's 7 new communities who now have professional soccer in their own backyard, and 7 new communities where local youth can now see a direct path to fulfilling their dreams of becoming professionals themselves. We're also reaching more people than ever before, courtesy of our partnership with ESPN+. Every single USL Championship game available online, and another 8 now shown on national television. More fans than ever before now can watch USL soccer from the comfort of their own home. So thank you, soccer fans. Thank you for joining us for what will be the biggest season in USL history.
Hey soccer fans, I'm Courtney Hudson with Reno 1868 FC, and this is your look around the league. As we close out week 2 of the regular season, here's a look at the top 10 teams in the Western Conference. The teams leading the conference are Colorado Switchbacks, OKC Energy, and Tacoma Defiance, all with 3 points each, with several teams following close behind with 1 point. There were no Western Conference matchups earlier this week, but here's a look at some of the games going on later today. We're going to take a look at some of the top storylines of this week. Over 90,000 fans welcomed the new season last week, with 4 expansion markets reaching capacity. Overall, the Championship League saw a 29% rise in its opening weekend attendance compared to last year. And after a record-setting opening weekend, USL Championship League returns with some must-watch action in the Western Conference. Colorado Switchbacks will host Sacramento Republic, and USL Cup finalist Phoenix Rising FC will host expansion side New Mexico United. Reno 1868 FC is looking for its earliest home win of the regular season in its history after a 2-2 draw against Orange County SC last week. The team is looking at the positives from last week's game and is hoping to earn 3 points at home earlier than previous seasons. That's your look around the league for this week. Enjoy the second half of the game here at Greater Nevada Field.
And we're back here at Greater Nevada Field as Austin Bold FC with the 1-0 halftime lead over Reno 1868 FC. Joined alongside Colin Tabor, I'm Sean Steimel filling in for Alex Margulies this week. And we get you a look at the first half highlights as Austin has the 1-0 lead. Our first look here is from Raul Mendiola, our player to watch, and he finds space in the middle of the pitch, sends a strong shot on goal that Diego Restrepo handles quite easily, but nonetheless, strong play there from Raul Mendiola. And here we have a look at the goal from Kliber. right in front of Zach Carroll, and nothing Matt Bersano can do about it. Kleber, just technical class right there.
Yeah, good strike from Kleber. Bersano can't quite see it.
And there we see another strong play from Diego Restrepo, 2017 USL Goalkeeper of the Year, and then Calvillo, Eric Calvillo with the strike, missing it by maybe half a yard. And then Mendiola sends this in for Brian Brown, and Brian Brown actually got called for a foul there, but he has been a menace to this back line of Austin. Sion McFarland done a fantastic job marking a physical presence like Brian Brown.
Yeah, McFarland's been excellent this half, up and down the field, defending well against Brian Brown, his Jamaican compatriot, along with getting up the field, a couple great crosses. Yeah, he's done very well on this right-hand side for an organized Austin Bold team.
You see both sides making their way back to the pitch. Some young fans saying hello to the players as we get set for the second half. Again, an absolutely perfect day here in Reno. Couldn't ask for better weather after quite a lengthy winter filled with snow. Just an absolutely perfect day here. As you see the Reno side getting ready for this second half. In that first half, Reno enjoying 67% of the possession, down a goal. Not ideal, but there are positive signs. As we said, late in that first half, Reno was finding pockets of space, especially in the middle of the pitch, as you saw in the highlights. Calvillo, Mendiola sending shots on goal. Now it's just about finding that final touch, linking up with another player, and getting that equalizer.
Yeah, I think we see a lot of possession, but not a lot of penetration. Just really missing that urgency, as Ian Russell said at the halftime break. Just Reno need to move the ball a little quicker, try to unorganize an Austin Bold team that is incredibly organized. Has done a good job getting the early goal and sitting back, absorbing pressure. I mean, their line of confrontation isn't even the half line at this point. It's the bottom of the circle. So seeing how far they're sitting back, seeing how organized they are, moving together as a unit, the ball goes from one side to the other. It's tough for Reno to break down, so Reno's going to have a challenge in the second half, as Austin, I imagine, will sit back more and more.
Yeah, I would assume we'll see a very defensive second half from this Austin Bold FC side, and they do have the players to execute that game plan. The back line with McFarland, Akugo, Taylor, and Daviardi, who took a knock late in that first half but seemed to come back and looked okay. We'll keep an eye on him. Maybe that's a weak spot that Reno can utilize. But nonetheless, should be a good second half. It's always fun when Reno is trying to go for goal. And it looks like they will be making a substitution to start this second half.
Man, it looks like Corey Herzog already set up there. Corey Herzog coming in for Gilbert Fuentes, it looks like.
Be interesting to see what Herzog brings to this match. Another one of these USL veterans with a lot of goal-scoring experience. He will go up top and play with Brian Brown.
Yeah, there were a lot of times where Brian Brown felt like he was isolated. Lindo Mafeka was kind of sitting next to Seth Kasipli at times. Gilbert Fuentes had trouble getting into the game. So seeing Corey Herzog, who will partner next to Brian Brown, will be good, along with Siad Haji, the first-round draft pick from San Jose Earthquakes, here on loan with Reno 1868. Really clever, dynamic player. Another exciting change for Ian Russell. Looks like Seth Kasipli has come off the field. So 2 substitutions at halftime, something we've seen Ian Russell do when he's chasing a game. He's not afraid to make bold halftime changes. A lot of coaches wait till the 60th, 70th minute before they start to change things. Ian Russell's always been the kind of coach where if things aren't working, he's not afraid to change it. And Herzog and Haji, I think, are 2 great changes for Reno 1868.
So it will be Fuentes and Kasipli making way for Haji and Herzog. We'll see how those changes impact this second half as we get underway from Greater Nevada Field. Reno down 1-0 to Austin Bold FC with their first goal in franchise history coming from Kleber as Brent Richards sends a cross in early in the box, and it hits the side of the net. Wow, 15 seconds in, Reno's on the attack. I think that sends a statement that they will be looking for the equalizing goal.
How's that for an impact in the second half? Brent Richards making that lung-bursting run, find him early, puts the ball across for Siad Haji. And Siad Haji in his first touch almost puts it away, but just puts it in the side netting, trying to sneak it past Restrepo's near post. But that's the urgency you want, and I'm sure Ian Russell laid into them at halftime.
Yeah, always curious to see the opening moments of the second half as Mendiola finds Brian Brown on the right. Brian Brown sends it, and it's a goal! An equalizer in the first minute of the second half comes from Brian Brown, and off the foot of Raul Mendiola with the perfect through ball to the Jamaican, leading all-time goal scorer in Reno history, adds to his total.
And that's how you start a second half. Mendiola with the perfectly weighted through ball into Brian Brown. Brian Brown makes no mistake and just slots it past Diego Restrepo's far post to make it 1-1. Reno on the front foot. You'd imagine more to come in this half.
I think it's safe to say Ian Russell's a genius. Whatever he said at halftime, they just had 2 chances in the first 45 seconds of the second half. They capitalized on the second of them. Just fantastic play there from Reno. A perfectly executed through ball from Raul Mendiola, our player to watch early. And we wanted to watch how he would link with guys like Brian Brown, Danny Mazovsky, who's out today. But that's the type of pass, that's the type of creativity that Mendiola brings. It's similar to the role that Antoine Opino played for this Reno side. Mendiola is going to have to kind of fill that role. And boy, oh boy, did he just prove he could do it with that perfectly executed through ball. And Brian Brown showing how clinical he is in front of goal. Just an absolute savage goal as we get a yellow card here. It looks like it's going to be on Guadarrama, but take me back to that goal. Just perfect play from Raul Mendiola.
Yeah, Raul Mendiola just picks up the ball between the lines, carries it, allows Brian Brown to make his run, doesn't play it too early, times it to perfection. The ball is weighted to perfection, and Brian Brown shows why he's Reno 1868's top scorer. A great clinical finish. But yeah, you said it yourself, Ian Russell is a genius. Didn't like the way they came in the first half, changed things, and now his changes are paying dividends instantly.
Ian Russell, definitely a guy who has the respect of the dressing room. A guy most players like playing for and clearly knows what he's doing. Excellent first minute here as Mendiola showing off a little bit of that creativity. And he will earn a corner kick on Javier Baez. And if this is any sign of what's about to come for the next 45 plus minutes, this Reno side is going to be on the front foot, and Austin is in for a tough battle.
Yeah, Austin are going to have to try to commit a little more forward, try to play on the counterattack like they were early on in the first half, but not the start that they want at all. Serrano will be a little bit disappointed that they were so open on that after the goal kick. Did not transition well defensively after giving up the second ball on the goal kick.
Fecco sends this into the back post, and it will be Guadarrama on that one. You said it, Marcelo Serrano cannot be pleased at all. As you see on the screen, he's so unpleased that he's making a substitution in the first couple of minutes in this second half. The next dead ball sub will be coming on, so clearly displeased with how this Austin side came out and started this second half. As Reno plays deep into Herzog, his first touch of the ball. Like I said, a USL veteran with a lot of goal-scoring experience. Solid pickup for this Reno side. I think him and Mendiola will pay dividends for this Reno attack. You add him into guys like Brian Brown, Mazovsky, Kasipli. Going to be a very potent attack. As Duke Lacroix still down on the ground. Top side of your screen as Haji gets dispossessed. Austin looking to break. It's with McFarland, who was really Austin's best player in that first half. He gets all the way down to the touchline, sends a cross in. Janjikian has problems dealing with it. It's inside the box. Callum Ellis hits the crossbar. It's deflected, and it goes out of play. Interesting play there from Austin. Sion McFarland gets all the way down the pitch. It gets into Callum Ellis. It looked like it took a deflection and hit the crossbar and then blasted out of play. Dangerous times there from Reno on the counterattack, but Callum Ellis inches away from taking a lead.
And a crucial touch from Zach Carroll, because that looked like it was goal bound from Callum Ellis. But going back to why they had the space in the counterattack in the first place, it's a head injury on Duke Lacroix. Referee does not have to stop the play unless it's a head injury. And it looked like, we couldn't quite see what happened, but it looks like Baez got a poke in the eye off the ball on Duke Lacroix. I'd like to see that challenge again because Duke Lacroix was struggling to get up, clutching his face, and the referee didn't blow the whistle.
Yeah, you could see immediately as Lacroix was going to the ground, he did grab for his face. And then Austin started on the counterattack. Not sure if Farhad Dadko saw it, but yeah, just an elbow from Guadarrama as he was trying to fend off Lacroix making a run right in the face. And we will keep an eye on Lacroix. Head, face injuries, never a good thing, always something to keep an eye on. As Austin does make that substitution. He's back with Eric Calvillo. Played all the way through to Brent Richards. Now Kugo will play out. And Mafeka will send it out wide to Haji. Haji's first touch coming in as a second half substitute. Led him straight to goal. Just missed by a couple inches trying to beat Restrepo to the near post. And moments later, Raul Mendiola finding Brian Brown with a perfect through ball. Brown taking touches towards goal, sliding it across Restrepo's face into the side of the neck for the equalizer. As Mafeka shows a fantastic bit of skill. Now, Austin looking to clear this one away. Mendiola does well to get this into Brian Brown. Brown on the right wing as Mendiola in the box. Brown plays it back to Brent Richards. Faris Abdi, man coming into the match for this Austin Bold side. As it goes out of play, Austin will take over from there. Who keeps your Reno 1868 players fit to win? Reno Orthopedic Clinic, official team physicians and experts in the medicine of movement. Reno Orthopedic Clinic. As it's with Baez. Baez plays to Guadarrama. He's got Tierpak to his left. Zach Carroll there. Brent Richards also shepherding Tierpak into the box, and it's with Bersano. Bersano did well to clean that up. Leo sends it out to Janjigian. Such a fun name to say, Janjigian. It's with Lacroix.
Everyone in Reno just knows him as Jiggy.
Jiggy. Getting jiggy with it.
Yeah,
that's a dated reference. That tells all about it.
And Janjigian, someone who struggled in the first year getting into the lineup, really came in and formed a great partnership with Zach Carroll last year.
And it's McFarland getting past Lacroix, sending a cross in. Zach Carroll did very well, snuffed that out. He's had a fantastic start to this season. Of course, going back to week one matchup with Orange County. 2 goals, really quite fluky. The first coming off a Seth Kasipley back pass that really the defense couldn't do anything about. The second coming off a penalty kick where JT Marstikowski just made a slight misstep and had to bring down the offensive player. Really nothing that the defense could do about. Other than that, Zach Carroll and his defense were fantastic that entire game. I'm sure they were very displeased to walk away from that match, having given up 2 goals, especially being up 2-0, and only walking away with a point. And I'm sure he wasn't too happy with the early goal given up here today.
Yeah, I spoke with Ian Russell before the game. He said last week's draw was the most disappointing draw he's had as a part of Reno 1868. He thought that they were in cruise control and gave up 2 goals that really they shouldn't have given up.
As Herzog plays that one away, I was on the call last week with Alex Margulies, and we just couldn't get over how well Reno was playing. They really dominated, especially the first half, just couldn't get that goal. They had 3 or 4 chances, really could have been up 2-0 at halftime as this ball's played in. Bersano's going to catch this one easily. And then to start the second half, it looked a lot like this. Reno just started on the front foot, found those offensive opportunities and put 2 away. And from there, it really just seemed like Reno was going to run away with it. It really could have been 5-0. And it took a turn when Kasipley's back pass was stolen and ran in for the goal. And then after that, seemed like Reno kind of settled in a little bit more, got back behind the ball, played good defense, and it was stoppage time. Just a long free kick in, and Marsikowski, just a minute of clarity, and, he has to take the guy down in the box, and it was 2-2 just like that. It was, like you said, Ian Russell said it was the most disappointing game of his Reno tenure. You can see it. They really dominated that match, really deserved 3 points, just couldn't add on to that goal tally, and then 2 highly unlikely scenarios led to the 2 goals.
Yeah, and that's just how this game goes sometimes. Goals against the run of play will happen often.
It's the beautiful game for a reason, but it can also be quite cruel. As this gets played into Guadarrama. Guadarrama sends a header through. Bersano, not knowing too much about that ball, let it roll. It looked like Kleber was right there trying to make a diving attempt, and nonetheless goes all the way through. Bersano a bit lucky not to pounce on this one. And it looks like Bersano took a little bit of a knock there from Kleber. Kleber had a word of condolences for him, but nonetheless, dangerous cross into the box there.
Yeah, dangerous cross in the box. Bersano thought he had time to let it roll. Kleber, a little bit reckless. Remember, he's sitting on a yellow already from a...
Tierpak beats Bersano to that ball. Bersano got a clip to it. It looked like it came off Tierpak last, and it did. Nonetheless, Bersano getting called into action here in this 57th minute. And it did take that last touch off of Tierpak. Strong play there from Bersano to come off of his line. Tierpak just barely beat him to it, but strong play to be able to deflect that, not only just get a hand to it, but be able to block it off Tierpak and get the goal kick. Strong play.
Yeah, great run from Tierpak to get through. Pass was weighted just enough for him to get a touch before Bersano, but Bersano did really well to make himself big, make the save. Great goalkeeping from Matt Bersano.
This Austin side settled in a little bit more to this second half after the flurry in the first minute for this Reno side to start the second half. Austin looking to break. Javier Baez in the middle. Baez has a shot, and it is blocked away there. Comes all the way back. Now Reno will look to break. And now it's played back in for Austin. And Brian Brown tracking all the way back to his own defensive end, dispossessing Javier Baez. Brian Brown showing he can do it all, as Herzog with a great first touch to Mendiola. Mendiola to Mafeka. Have space out in front. Mafeka just plays back to Brian Brown. As Brown makes his way back to the offensive end, Richards plays to Carroll. Reno will set up from the back.
Yeah, Brian Brown tracking back. I think a little bit of criticism Brian Brown his first year from Ian Russell was that he didn't do a lot of the defensive work. There he was, getting all last man back. I mean, he's definitely stepped that up in the last 2 seasons. Joins the press, makes things hard for defenders to play it out of the back, and tracks back when need be, whether on set pieces or in open play.
You saw Mafeka try and play Corey Herzog in there, just a little bit too strong on the touch. But that's something I've noticed watching Brian Brown, just the little that I've seen of him, is the experience has really helped him. The more game time he's had, he's just looked more comfortable in more situations where he is such a physical presence, and he does have the technical ability, but putting that all together and bringing it out for 90 minutes is not the easiest thing in the world, especially to do it consistently. And I think that's something we're seeing from Brian Brown, is he's putting together performances consistently that will have him in the starting 11 the entire year.
Yeah, he's really become the main man of Ian Russell's side, just the main focal point of the Reno attack. And he's shown why Ian Russell has put his faith in him with great performances last season, along with the start to this season. Such a reliable goal scorer, so great in his hold-up play, is able to take people on, really just an all-around great number 9.
And I think it really is saying something that I have to agree with you. I think he's the prototypical guy for this Ian Russell system. And the first year this system featured Dane Kelly, who's one of the USL's all-time goal-scoring leaders. And Brian Brown hasn't missed a beat since Dane Kelly left, which is really saying something. Of course, having a guy like Antoine Opino helping out, sending balls in, Chris Wehan first year, guys who are just able to distribute, which is why I think Raul Mendiola, who you see on the screen right now, will be able to even help Brian Brown that much more get on the score sheet. I think it's going to be a fantastic pairing between those two. But as we said, Brian Brown, he's been fantastic so far.
Yeah, he's been the consistent piece up top. Like we said, no more Antoine Opino, no more Dane Kelly. I mean, leaving after the first season. A great season for him. But Brian Brown has stepped up every year. Brian Brown has repaid the faith in Russell shown in him.
Now it's Lacroix. Calvillo blocks that away for the moment. Now it's back with Austin. That's cross comes in, and it sails all the way through. Looks like it took a bit of a deflection. Nonetheless, Lacroix having problems on that right wing.
Yeah, and McFarland once again getting up the field, being dangerous. He's been fantastic today. We've said it a few times, but he's been their threat down the right side.
Yeah, Kliber, of course, with the goal, but for my money, Sioan McFarland has been the best player, I think, on the entire pitch. He's impacted the game, man-marking Brian Brown and getting forward offensively as Javier Baez sends his curler in. And Brian Brown does well to get ahead to it and clear it out of danger for the time being. Fans get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Reno 1868 FC and then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on Reno 1868's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. As McFarland finds space again on this right side, slides it in. It comes into the box. Kliber gets a foot to it, and that cross goes all the way through. Another dangerous opportunity from Sioan McFarland. Duke Lacroix having trouble staying in front of him. This Reno side is going to have to keep an eye on McFarland the rest of this match. Yeah,
after a shaky minute in the start to the second half, Austin is really starting to open up. You see the one-touch passing there to find McFarland through on the right side. It was really brilliant play from Austin. They look dangerous. They show that they can play that defensive game, and they show that they can get forward as well.
Yeah, this, like I said to start this match, on paper they really do look strong, and you see them in person. They're going to be a very strong team as Andre Lima comes in to replace 19 Chris Tierpak. Lima, another one of these veteran guys who has goal-scoring experience at top levels. Another guy Reno's going to have to keep track of.
Yeah, real Brazilian contingent in this Austin Bold team with Marcelo Serrano, their head coach, being Brazilian, being involved in the Brazilian FA for so long, in youth national teams. Brought a lot of Brazilians with him to Austin. It never hurts to have a Brazilian on your team.
Never. They sure know how to breed world-class footballers. That's South America. Let's get a good look there at Jermaine Taylor. Another MLS veteran. No, Mafeka gets all the way back, sends it into Herzog. Herzog's first touch lets him down a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think Herzog's going to be the type of striker to hold up the ball. He's the willing runner in behind. He's the foil for Brian Brown, someone to run off of him where Brian Brown can hold up the play and Herzog can stretch the play with his runs.
Yeah, you definitely want the target man being Brian Brown and then maybe laying off the ball into space for Herzog to make a run on. I think that's where their pairing will be quite lethal. I think if they can get that down, Brown, just being his physical presence and being able to lay balls off, I think that's where Herzog's going to play well off of him.
And where that combination will work really well as well is Brian Brown drawing people in with this hold-up play. Herzog drawing people further back with his runs will create the space for the likes of Mendiola and Mafeka to pick up the ball between the lines.
It all works in unison, doesn't it? It's an 11-man game for a reason. As McFarland attacks down the right wing again, Haji man marking him there. McFarland goes to ground and then sends this ball into Kliber. Javier Baez there too, as Mafeka does well to start the counterattack. It's with Brian Brown. Brian Brown holding up play in the middle. Mendiola makes a run forward. Brent Richards makes a run forward. It's out to Richards on the right wing. Brown runs off of it. He's got space. Clips this one in for the far post. Restrepo bobbles that a little bit. Nonetheless, Brian Brown, a dangerous ball in for Mendiola. Herzog in the box as well. But an excellent run playing off of Brent Richards. Richards with a perfect through ball into Brian Brown. Dangerous play.
Yeah, and it all started Brian Brown carrying the ball himself, allowing Reno to push their lines forward. So confident on the ball. And then just that little clip pass trying to find Herzog on the far post. So clever from Brian Brown there. Restrepo does really well with it though.
Larry Saramutin there. Now it's with Malice. Reno giving him all kinds of space. One here at Greater Nevada Field. Klibber's goal in the 14th minute led it off for Austin Bold FC, their first goal in franchise history. And then right to start the second half, Raul Mendiola with a perfect through ball into Brian Brown. And Brown put it home for the equalizer, and we are knotted at 1. 67th minute. Both of these teams with draws in the first week. As that, I don't even want to call that a shot, goes out of play. The Battleborn Brigade, along with Los Unicos. Both supporting sections making plenty of noise here today. Perfect day to be at the ballpark. Watch some Reno 1868 FC soccer. Just an absolutely gorgeous day. As Restrepo and Matt Bersano having strong performances so far. Really not much Restrepo could have done about Brian Brown's goal. And Bersano did about as well as he could. Zach Carroll had that back post covered on the first goal for Kleber. But other than that, pretty solid performances from the keepers today.
Yeah, both well-taken finishes. Nothing either of the keepers can do about them. But yeah, these are two of the best goalkeepers in USL for the last 2 years, though, between Bersano and Restrepo.
I would throw Josh Cohen's name in there as well, with Fabian Serta, who led USL in saves last year. But yes, I have to agree, Diego Restrepo has been a top goalkeeper in this league for a long time, and Matt Bersano, fantastic young keeper. As this ball gets played all the way through, Herzog giving chase, but it will roll out of play. Alongside Colin Tabor, I'm Sean Steimel filling in for the venerable Alex Margulies, who made the trip to Las Vegas. Watched the UNR Wolfpack play in the conference tournament. They await their seeding. Selection Sunday tomorrow. We'll see where they'll be playing next week.
Yeah, and a bit disappointing for Nevada basketball after so much hype really in that program. Starting off as a 6th seed.
As Mendiola finds Herzog in the box. Herzog picks his head up. Not sure why he'd go for the pass there. Had time and space in front of him. You'd like to see Herzog take a shot on goal there, but another perfect through ball from Raul Mendiola. He was our player to watch today. I think he's proven exactly what he can bring to this Reno side.
Yeah, great playmaking ability again from Mendiola. And like you said, Herzog has time and space. He's got to go for it. Looks to be selfish and try to slip Lindo Mafeka. But yeah, I'd like to see Herzog just put his foot through it.
Now this through ball into Kleber. He's got Andre Lima to the left. Kleber sends a shot that sails wide. Reno defense doing well. Matt Bersano giving instructions to his back line. For my money, one of the strongest back lines in USL Championship play. Going back to the Nevada men's basketball team. Without Jordan Caroline last night, very tough player to replace. Nevada succumbing in the conference tournament. I think that will make them a little bit hungrier for their NCAA tournament appearance. Would not be surprised to see them in the second weekend of the tournament. As we have all that covered on Nevada Sportsnet, the whole crew taking you with inside access to this UNR team. As this ball comes in, cleared away for the moment. Ferris Abdi, now Mendiola sliding it into Brian Brown. Brown and Mendiola trying to link up there again, as they did to start the second half. for the equalizer. And there's a showcase of Brent Richards' speed as he beats Andre Lima to the ball. He's going to do it again just for fun. And sends it into Lindo Mafeka.
And you have to be fit and you have to be quick to be a fullback in Ian Russell's system, and Brent Richards showed it there, tracking all the way back and then beating Andre Lima for speed once again.
Duke Lacroix had a similar moment in last week's match where he was all the way up at the corner flag you see on the screen right now. 10 seconds later, he had tracked all the way back to dispossess the offensive player. You said it. You have to be in phenomenal shape to play fullback for Ian Russell. Both Duke Lacroix and Brent Richards, fantastic fullbacks. As you see Lacroix trying to make a move on McFarland. And again, McFarland making the correct play. Just, he's had such an impact on this match today.
Yeah, if the game ends right now, McFarland's my man of the match. He really has been everywhere.
I would have to agree, but
there's still some to play, though.
Still 20 minutes, and knowing this Reno side and their goal-scoring prowess, I wouldn't be surprised if they got one into the back of the net as Zach Arrow plays long for Corey Herzog. Mendiola on that sideline. The assistant referee did not want to give that throw in. Waited until the very last second as Richards restarts play. And this ball goes long. It's into Kleber. Kleber had problems playing that one, and it's out to Duke Lacroix. Kleber giving the thumbs up to Faris Abdi on the ball. Just couldn't quite control it, trap it with his chest. He had some time and space there as Richards and Carroll are in charge of man marking. The early goal scorer, the only goal scorer in Austin Bold franchise history. Kleber Giacomazi, also known as Gladiator, which is a fantastic nickname. I believe that's one you have to earn. I think you need permission from Russell Crowe. Nonetheless, Gladiator, the only goal scorer in Austin Bold history, as it's at the feet of Brian Brown. And Callum Malice tracks all the way back to dispossess and sends it back to Restrepo, who plays forward.
Lindo Mafeka does really well there to turn on the ball and try to find Brian Brown through. Someone whose name we have not said a lot today and have not said enough. Been having trouble getting on the ball in advanced positions. Someone I think Ian Russell would like to see getting the ball between the lines, because when Lindo Mafeka can get the ball in advanced positions, things happen.
And I have to agree, I don't think we've seen enough from Mafeka today, but I give credit to the Austin Bold defense and midfield. They clearly came in with a game plan to take away the middle of the field for Lindo Mafeka, and it's worked quite well. As Richards does well to send it into Mafeka. Mafeka swings his foot high, and not what you want to see on a soccer pitch. That boot came up high, and Callum Malice going for the header. Not sure Mafeka knew he was there, but nonetheless, cleat to face, never good.
Yeah, and just
not something you want to see.
All comes from Lindo Mafeka's very sloppy touch there. Really expect more from Mafeka in those positions to receive the ball and be able to hold it up using his low center of gravity. Don't think he knows Callum Malice is there.
Yeah, nonetheless, you said it, bit of a sloppy first touch. And had to make up for it as this ball comes in. Brent Richards does well to get airborne. And it's cleared away for the moment. Another dangerous ball in. Both back lines today have done well in the air, blocking crosses away. Sion McFarland doing a fantastic job early on Brian Brown, as Callum Malice swings his right foot through this one and sends it out of play.
Another wild opportunity there from Callum Malice. A bit hard, has to reach for it for the volley, can't quite get over it to keep the ball low.
Richards sends his header forward. Brian Brown tracks back, and it gets played all the way back to a bald Zach Carroll for a good cause, the St. Baldrick's Foundation. Wearing the captain's armband for this Reno side. See man marks the goal scorer Kleber. Kleber, Saramutin, and Jermaine Taylor all on yellow cards for this Austin side in this match. 3 guys to keep an eye on. As Brian Brown plays Brent Richards into space. Now with Eric Calvillo. Calvillo having a strong debut to his USL Championship season. Sam Gleedle, another guy I was impressed with last week. Yet to see the pitch today. Not sure if we'll see him. But you talk about the names that Ian Russell has at his disposal for this midfield, and just some fantastic players, a lot of versatile players, a lot of guys he can move around. We saw Seth Kasipli kind of switch roles to start the season. You have a guy like Mafeka, you add Mendiola, Gleedle's been fantastic. Calvillo's looked good today. Just so many options there in the midfield for this Ian Russell side.
Yeah, and that's one of the strengths of having this affiliation agreement with San Jose Earthquakes, getting guys like Calvillo, getting guys like Siad Haji to come in and bolster an already pretty effective midfield.
Haji, another guy to keep an eye on in that midfield. Again, his first touch coming on as a second half substitute, almost scored a goal near post. As he's on ball right there, and McFarland, again, dispossessing. I guess anytime you have the ball near Sion McFarland, he's just going to take it from you.
Yeah.
Just been fantastic today.
And Siad Haji coming off a great collegiate career with VCU. Someone with a lot of promise. #2 overall pick in the 2019 MLS Super Draft.
Virginia Commonwealth University. As Duke Lacroix looking for help as Austin extends a little bit of pressure. Just about 15 minutes left as Richards plays in for Brian Brown, and Brian Brown gets ahead to it, and it's into the back of the net. Brown's got his second. It's a lead for Reno. What a perfect ball in.
Brent Richards with that deep cross, that teasing ball between the Austin back line and Diego Restrepo. Brian Brown just gets that touch onto it. Great run from Brown. A fantastic Brent Richards cross to make it 2-1 for Reno 1868.
An inch perfect ball from Brent Richards. Brian Brown knowing exactly what to do with it. Nothing Diego Restrepo could do, just slotted right in between the defense and Restrepo. Brown wasting no time, poking his header past Restrepo. Second of the game, third of the season. Brian Brown is in fuego right now for this Reno side.
Yeah, Brian Brown picking up right where he left off last year. 3 goals in his first 2 matches in the season. Expect him to be near the top of the USL goal scorers list at the end of the season.
Well, he's definitely there now. Brian Brown, second of the match, third of the season. Brent Richards, cannot tell you enough how perfect that cross was. Exactly where you want to hit it, just curled it right in between the defense and Restrepo. An inch perfect ball. Brown does well to finish it off. Reno up 2-1 with just over 10 minutes left, and a similar situation as they were in last week. A 1-goal lead with about 10 minutes left in the match. Can they redeem themselves and hold on to this lead?
Yeah, and it looks like
that is Brian Brown pounding the ground. Looks like he took a clip on his left leg just when he was finding his stride. As he's back to his feet right now, we'll keep an eye on him as this goes all the way back to Bersano. And he is not moving well. The last thing you want to see from a guy who's playing as well as Brian Brown is right now, looking to hop it off. But we'll see what Ian Russell has in store. Of course, with the 1-goal lead, maybe you make a change, bring on a defensive presence, but that really hasn't been the MO of this Reno side. They really never take their foot off the pedal. They're going to go for it offensively. So I'm curious to see how Ian Russell changes the look if Brian Brown can't continue.
Yeah, and it looks like Ian Russell's gearing up a substitute right now.
And it looks like Lindo Mafeka will be the one to make way. Keeping an eye on Brian Brown, he's giving an extra stretch to that left leg.
Yeah, and Will Seymour coming in, another holding mid, someone who's going to sit next to Calvillo, provide a double pivot, not commit so many numbers forward. But yeah, a bit of a disappointing game from Lindo Mafeka today.
Yeah, after a very strong performance week one, Lindo Mafeka not finding all the space in the world. And again, I credit Austin's defense for that. But we will see how Will Seymour impacts the final 10 minutes here from Greater Nevada Field. Reno, 2 second-half goals to take a 2-1 lead, searching for that first win of the season, putting all the history behind them of not starting out strong. You start with a draw against the former #1 team last year and a big win against a good Austin side. You can forget how it was done. 4 points out of the first 3 games would be fantastic. It's a little premature, about 10 minutes left, and Reno does have a history of giving up late goals. But if that is the situation, there are worse ways to start a season.
Yeah, and Russell want to be really careful not to give up this lead. I think a strong start to the season will be so important for this side, a team that hasn't had a strong start to the season before in their short history. But walking away with here 3 points, 4 points in 2 games for the season will be big for a Reno 1868 team that wants to challenge for the Western Conference and sees themselves as one of the better teams in the West.
Brian Brown making a run here, and he was just a touch off sides. But boy, did he show he's feeling okay. Full sprint over there to just barely beat out Restrepo, but that offside flag came up. And of course, every result is important, especially when you get towards the end of the year. As Kleber plays this out wide, inside the box. Now it is clipped out back inside. And that is an easy header for Matt Persano to deal with. Every result matters, especially at the end of the year, and you said it, Reno is going to be one of the teams that wants to compete in this Western Conference. But I would venture to say that these next 10 or so minutes are crucial for the mentality of this Reno side moving forward. This will be back-to-back weeks with late leads at home. Usually you want to come out of those scenarios with 3 points. If they can maintain this lead, I think that does a lot for that mentality. But on the flip side, if somehow, some way Austin were to score, I think mentally that kind of drains on you if you're a Reno player where you have these late leads and all of a sudden it just seems like, oh, well, it's going away, the other team is scoring. I think mentally that can be challenging.
Yeah, I think it's always challenging. It's always a bit mentally defeating if you have results where you feel like you're running away with it and then you give up that last-minute equalizer, maybe that last-minute winner for the other team. So I think it will be huge for Reno going in this run-up, the early parts of the season, to really establish themselves as one of the dominant teams rather than having to play catch-up in the summer.
Really dominated possession in that first week matchup against Orange County. Today, 62% of possession. Really have played quite well. Just one mistake, and Kleber capitalized on it. But for the most part, Reno has been the better side here today. In week one, I thought maybe they should have had 5 or 6 goals. Today, a couple shots here and there, but I think they've played exceptionally well these 2 weeks. And if you walk away with 4 points from that, I think you look at that as a fantastic start to the season.
Oh, you look as a great start to the season because they're really showing that they're instilling the play style that Ian Russell wants. The new guys are fitting in well. Guys like Mendiola are fitting in really well into this side, as we've seen today. And I think just trying to show early on that they can play this way and not build their way into it will be great for Reno.
And we're talking about the mentality of these Reno players. I'm already quite impressed, having given up an early goal today and fighting back to get into the lead 2-1. Of course, getting that equalizer was huge, but adding that second goal with Brent Richards and Brian Brown, I'm impressed mentally that they had the fortitude to come out in the second half, know that they're the better side, and play like the better side. I think they've already proven something mentally.
Yeah, and I think Ian Russ will be really pleased with how this second half has gone up to now. I think they've been solid defensively. They prevented an Austin team that's been pushing forward more from having any really good chances. And yeah, they came out with so much energy and urgency coming into the start of this second half.
They have been the better side by far in this second half. As Callum Malice standing over this free kick. Bit of a danger spot here for this Reno defense. Farhad Dotko having some words telling the players to cool it off physically. That ball comes in, it's going far post. It's cleared away for the moment. Mendiola on Callum Malice. Looked like Mendiola got a little bit of jersey. Malice had some words for Mendiola. Anybody who's watched Raul Mendiola's career in USL knows he can start some stuff.
Yeah, really, really surprised the referee waved that on. I thought that was clearly a foul and a yellow card for cheeky little pull on the jersey from Mendiola.
Yeah,
I think Reno lucked out a little bit right there.
I wouldn't have been surprised to see a yellow card there. I am shocked we did not see a foul. Now, it was just outside the box, so it wouldn't have been worst case scenario like it was last week, Reno giving up a late penalty kick. But nonetheless, I think Farhad Dadko missed that one. Mendiola grabbing a full piece of Callum Malice's jersey, and Malice knew it as soon as he got up. He grabbed Mendiola's jersey, so you got away with one there, buddy.
Yeah. And Mendiola probably versed in the darker arts of defending. He was very good at being sneaky about it. Arm wasn't extended at all.
Yeah,
just a quick little hand to pull him down.
A few of those moves, I believe a couple of those Los Dos players on the LA Galaxy 2 squads, they had a few of those moves mastered. Mendiola being a key cog in a few of those really good Los Dos teams. Of course, playing with the Las Vegas Lights last year, and I think he'll be a tremendous addition to this Reno side this year. As he's proven today, his assist to Brian Brown was about as good as it gets from a midfielder.
Yeah, and with your background with Sacramento Republic, I'm sure you've seen some great games between Los Dos and Sac Republic.
The Miracle at Bonnie is still the greatest soccer match I've ever seen, and it was incredible. Mendiola was a part of that. Those were some heated battles between those two sides for sure. As Brown gets forward here, just into the 88th minute, Reno with a 2-1 lead, 2 second half goals from Brian Brown. Similar situation to what they were in last week. Can they produce a win with 3 points against this Austin Bold side? Time will tell, but Austin not sitting back defensively. They are looking to attack, and Reno having to keep an eye on everybody is Callum Malice with the ball here. Finds the goal scorer, Kleber, marked up by Mendiola. And it's with Calvillo. Mendiola doing a fantastic job there with Will Seymour.
Oh, great
And
feed
now
from
Haji,
Haji,
just fantastic play there on the ball. Just one more touch. Brown was holding up on the offside trap, but Haji showing a bit of his skill there on that left side. If he can put it all together, he'd be a fantastic piece to this Reno side. This gets played out wide. Brent Richards marking Abdi. Abdi's cross goes all the way through to Haji. Haji right on the touchline against McFarland. McFarland gets physical, sends that cross through, and is blocked away from Janjigian. You'd like to see Haji be a little bit more confident, maybe just clear that ball away. Not ideal scenario, but McFarland again making a humongous impact on this game as Javier Baez walks over to the corner kick.
Yeah, Haji tries to be a little confident in his own box. Now Austin will have the corner kick as a result.
Janjigian does well. Now it's with Guadarrama, and Brian Brown wasting no time in clearing this one away. This Reno side will not settle for another stoppage time goal. As we are almost into the 90th minute. Restrepo sends this back deep, trying to find Kleber. Brent Richards again getting airborne, doing a fantastic job to block it away. Ball comes back in, Janjigian. Now with Akugo. Callum Malice sends this out wide. Eric Calvillo doing a good job marking. All the way back to the back line. Now with Jermaine Taylor. Into the 90th minute, as Taylor sends this deep. Akugo, the furthest man down the pitch. And it sails out of play.
Yeah, Austin are starting to throw everything out here, trying to earn a point here. I mean, they've come in with the right game plan, got the early goal, sat back, but I think they were still sleeping a little bit in the start of the second half, and that's what really costed them. They're going to want to walk away with a point. 2 points in 2 games in Nevada would be a great result for them. Brand new team, expansion side. in the 2019 USL season.
We will have a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time. This Reno side has to buckle down. They do not want another scenario like the previous week. As Restrepo sends this one long, Carroll there. Richards again in the air, blocking it away momentarily. It's down to the touchline, and that will be blocked out of play by Richards for a corner kick. As Faris Abdi does well to get to that ball.
And an underrated quality of Brent Richards is his aerial ability. He's so good in the air, winning balls.
He's had 5 or 6 opportunities today, and every one of them he's played perfectly. As Malice goes near post, and it is blocked away for the moment, out to Malice. Malice chips this back in, and it is played out of play. It looked like Malice might have mishit that corner kick a little bit, just went near post, and Calvillo and Mendiola were both there, didn't really deal with it, went out back to Malice. Malice clipped it in, but Austin not really taking advantage of the extra opportunity. Now Matt Bersano gets to enjoy some time on the ball. Watch that clock tick down as we are into the 92nd minute, and he will blast this deep for Herzog. Herzog does well to win that in the air. Now it's with Calvillo. Calvillo will play Herzog down the line, and it will roll out of play. Keeping an eye on Ian Russell. He's making sure everyone is covered, not taking any chances. As he would very much like to see 3 points come out of this match. And again, Restrepo will send this deep. Trying to find Lima. And again, Brent Richards does well. Seymour slides across to Calvillo. Now it's all the way back with Callum Malice. Mendiola doing well. Stan Abdi up. Herzog running. Duke Lacroix tracking back. And Matt Bersano does the smart thing and lets that roll all the way through.
Yeah, Matt Bersano will be able to see a little bit more time go off on the clock. Reno are holding on.
Speaking of smart goalkeeping play, Diego Restrepo had a heck of a play last week where a throw-in from Las Vegas Lights actually ended up in the back of the net. And if you watch the replay, Restrepo has a chance to maybe block it away or catch it, but he actually let it go in the goal, knowing that a throw-in has to be touched to be a goal. Very interesting play, not a common play that you see, and Restrepo played it perfectly. You gotta love awareness like that.
Yeah, and Las Vegas Lights definitely has that ability on the throw-ins. Can really launch it into the box. Tough to deal with, especially when it's such a flat delivery that the Las Vegas Lights defender can do.
Treat it like a corner kick or a free kick, essentially. As we are into the last minute of stoppage time, Farhad Dadko keeping an eye on his watch. Restrepo comes all the way forward as Austin sends everybody above the ball, as this is a last-ditch effort. Restrepo clips this in, back post, found a Kugo. Kugo sends it back across. It's loose in the box. Duke Lacroix does well to get rid of it, and Bersano watches that ball go just past the bar. Dangerous moments there from Austin Bold FC, but Reno's defense does a fantastic job. Duke Lacroix on the initial clearance, and Bersano will put this ball down, and it will likely be one of the last actions of the match.
Yeah. Nervy moments here in stoppage time with Austin Bold throwing everything they have, but Reno being resolute in the back.
And there it is, the final whistle. A fantastic performance here from Reno 1868 FC, going down an early goal. 2 second half goals from Brian Brown, one right in the first minute of the second half. A fantastic 3 points and a strong start to the season with 4 points from 2 games against 2 very tough opponents here at Greater Nevada Field. As you see, Brian Brown getting dapped up for his performance. Eric Calvillo, Raul Mendiola, and the Reno side have to be pleased with their performance here today. Not too shabby.
Yeah, Brian Brown with 2 great goals, one off of a Mendiola through ball, the other one off of the deep cross from Brent Richards. 2 fantastic deliveries to cap off an excellent second half for Ian Russell's side.
This Austin Bold FC side playing in just their second match in franchise history, getting the first goal form of Kleber in the 14th minute. Going into halftime, Ian Russell made a couple of changes, and as I said before, it's hard to claim he's not a genius with the moves he made. Starting out that second half, Reno on the front foot, Mandiola to Brown, perfect goal, and Brown adding a second from Brent Richards. A fantastic performance here from this Reno side. Very strong team in Austin Bold. I think they will be a strong contender in USL Championship Western Conference. They will for sure be a team to watch for. As we have Julian Delgadio waiting for Mr. Brian Brown, all-time leading goal scorer for this Reno side. Julian, ask this man how
Brian,
he does it.
2 goals today, 3 goals in 2 games. What'd you see on both of those plays?
I mean, all I wanted in the first half was some good service. The first half we didn't serve the ball that much. In the second half we talk about it, let's get some service, and I try my best to get on one. Like 2 great balls, one from Raul and one from Brent. It's 2 good service at the finisher.
Yeah, you guys had 2 goal within the first 2 minutes, I want to say, of the second half, but you guys lock up 3 points, 4 points in 2 games. You got to be proud of the progress so far this season.
Yeah, it's good. That's why this is why we've been working off season hard for these first 4 or 5 games. You know, because the past 2 seasons it hasn't been good for us. But I mean, the goal is to get 3 points, and that's what we did. It's a good teamwork.
Well, enjoy the win. Congrats again. All-time leading scorer right here for Reno 1868. Back up over to you guys.
Nobody hotter in USL Championship play than Brian Brown. 3 goals on the season, 2 goals today, some fantastic finishing. We're going to take a short break, come back with final highlights, get you all caught up on what went down here at Greater Nevada Field. 4 points in the first 2 games for Reno Nevada. We will be right back. A commanding second half performance from Reno 1868 FC gives them the 2-1 victory over Austin Bold FC. 2 goals from Brian Brown in the second half, some fantastic defensive play to stay in front of Austin Bold, and 3 points earned. As we take a look at our final highlights from this one, an early goal from Austin Bold FC as Kleber gets into the back line. Zach Carroll right in front of him just turns the worst possible moment and beats Matt Bersano.
Yeah, and Conca delivering the ball for Kleber. Great finish from the experienced striker Kleber.
And as you see here, this is the first one just to start the second half. An inch-perfect ball from Raul Mandiola right into the path of Brian Brown. Brown picks his spot, beats a talented keeper in Restrepo who actually got a finger to it. His second of the season. That was in the 46th minute, and this came much later. Brent Richards, another perfect cross into the box. Brian Brown wasting no time, heading that right in. He knew it was in, right into the celebration.
Yeah, and as Brian Brown said, 2 great deliveries, one from Mendiola, one from Brent Richards. He got on the end of them and made no mistake there. Really mature second half performance, I thought, from Reno 1868. They didn't let their heads drop after going down. They fought their way back, created 2 great opportunities for 2 great goals, and then defended very well against an Austin Bold team that I think has more to offer. I think we're going to see a lot of in this season.
Yeah, I think if we had any questions about Reno's mentality after that first week rough draw, you'd love to have 3 points coming out of that one. But if we have any questions, they were answered today. Reno is going to be a force to be reckoned with. They look fine. Their offense is firing on all cylinders when Brian Brown plays like this. Raul Mendiola got into the attack today. Brent Richards with a perfect cross. Like we've said, anytime you've got Richards and Lacroix getting forward, this Reno side is dangerous. Next match for Reno, they will take on Fresno FC at Chukchansi Park next Saturday, March 23rd. The next home match, Saturday, March 30th, against OKC Energy. 2 really tough games, but winnable games if Reno's offense plays like this.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that March 30th game against OKC Energy. I think Steve Cook has done an excellent job with that team. I think they're a team to watch really in this Western Conference.
Well, Austin Bold FC gets their first goal in franchise history, but it is not enough. When you come to Greater Nevada Field, you have to deal with the likes of Brian Brown, who pounces on 2 perfect opportunities with 2 second-half goals for his 3rd of the season, and he tallies 3 points for Reno 1868 FC as they take the 2-1 win. Well, for everyone behind the scenes, the entire crew, for Colin Tabor and myself, Sean Steimel, it has been a pleasure bringing you this game. Glad to see Reno get back on track with the 3 points. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a fantastic Saturday and St. Patrick's Day. We will see you next time. Thank you.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.